Hello and welcome to the comprehensive multi-agentic financial analyst system demonstration. Now, as you can see on your screen, this is a Gradio app, and here the user enters any technical or fundamental stock related query, and the symbol which he has to use are the symbols which are on the AlphaVantage open API providers. So I have given here one link, and when user clicks that link, then he will get a ready-made list of all the symbols which are supported by AlphaVantage. Here there is another link which provides some sample queries. Here it is some this kind of ready-made queries. In the fundamental analysis of stock, what is ROE, return on equity of Apple, AAPL? What is, so these symbols, AAPL stands for Apple, MSFT stands for Microsoft, TSLA for Tesla, that you can find from this link. Okay, and these queries, all these queries on this whole list of queries, that you can find from this second link. So you can easily copy paste directly from here to here. Okay, now for MSFT, what is return on equity of MSFT? And it has already been populated, so within a fraction of second it shows that the value is 0.322. It also shows the date 2025 and 39/2025, that is the fiscal date on which this return on equity was calculated. Now this is important for stock market data, because stock market data becomes stale very soon. So that is why this app has certain great features, and it took me a lot of time to incorporate those features. One feature is this, that you can see that as soon as MSFT is typed, here it is warning will displayed that this is cached data for MSFT on this date. If you want fresh data, then if you want to use this data, cached data, then just click this fetch existing. So I have clicked that and it will give me that data. However, if you want to get fresh data, then click here fetch new. Then at that time the request will go to AlphaVantage and latest possible information will be obtained. Because one has to understand that this is September. Suppose someone is using this app after 6 months, then this September 2025 data would be very stale data, and based on the basis of which financial decisions cannot be taken. So the user would like to get new data, latest data, and he can easily get it. I will show you the demo also. Okay, second important thing is that there are certain stock symbols for which the data is already stored in cache. And for example, these are the things for which data is already stored in cache. Google, HDB means HDFC Bank, IBM means ICICI Bank. So even Indian stocks which are listed on the US stock market, their detail is also captured. Infosys, Meta, Nvidia, RDY, Dr. Reddy's, and TSLA, Tesla. In addition, there are some more later on they were found. MSFT for Microsoft, Walmart. Okay, and in addition, I think few more were also found, maybe. That's okay, but the point is, for certain companies the data is already present in the database. But the question which arises in the mind of the user is that what if someone types a symbol which is an existing company on the US stock market, but which is not yet in our database. So the greatness of this app is that when such unknown symbol, unknown means the data for which is not available in our data set, is typed in this query, then it will fetch the data for that. It will automatically update these data sets, and as a result of this financial corpus continuously keeps on getting updated. What I am saying is that this file metric microindex.csv for financial data and technical microindex.csv for technical data, these two will continuously go on becoming bigger and bigger as more and more users try the app for different stock symbols. I will show you a demo of that also. So in short, the point is what this app does. This app can do this thing. that take any fundamental query or take any technical query. Technical means what is RSI, these are all technical indicators, or whether a stock is overbought currently or oversold territory at present. Okay, that kind of answer it can give. It can also give 50-day moving average, simple moving average, or 200-day moving average, 50-day SMA, and all that things. Then based on that, you can, my planning is in future I want to extend this app even further for time series based predictive analytics, so that it can even predict what would be the price in near future. But currently itself the app has become so complex. If I show you its architecture, then you will realize that it is very complex. For example, this is the entire file structure, and it is so long that it cannot even be accommodated in this whole screen. Okay, so this is the entire file structure of my app. And if I consider only directory, only not even files, only directories, then also this is the directory structure, and it has currently around 82 different directories, and inside there are more than different files. If you see the architecture, then there are certain config files, that is standard industry practice is followed, that certain YML files are there, and then processed data is there, in which financial corpus is there. These, one more thing about this is that the user is asking the query in natural language, what is ROE of Microsoft. So that means somewhere we are using NLP and somewhere we are using vector data store. Okay, so this data is enriched, or that is once the data for the Google is fetched from AlphaVantage, it is cleaned, it is normalized, stop words are removed, and all those things are done, and only the useful portion of the data is stored here. Okay, then phase index will also be created. For that is vector data store will be created. I will show you when it comes. Okay, but this is the financial corpus. This is historical financial for all companies in the CSV format, historical EPS for all companies in the CSV format, and this is metric micro index. That is actually should have been named fundamental micro index, but now I could not change because I would have to refactor my code base at many places, so I decided to keep it metric micro index. But these two files, they are actually taking care of all fundamental metrics, that is they are taking care of all this kind of metrics, ROE, ROA, return on equity, return on assets, then profit margin, and all those kinds of metrics, right? And these files, these two files, both are exactly same, just the difference is one is in CSV format and another is same data in JSON format. JSON is the format by which the AlphaVantage delivers its data, but this app internally stores the data in the CSV format, and thereafter it is using that data. Okay, so at that time technical data is stored in this technical micro index, and that is this RSI, overbought, oversold, then moving averages, SMA, EMA, and all those kinds of detail, they are stored in this particular. Okay, and one more thing which I would like to explain is that means this app uses a hybrid approach. That means that to understand users intent, it uses natural language processing, and that is uses vector data store. Okay, so phase vector data store will be there. Here you can see that embeddings are built, and phase index builder.py, that these are the two files which are doing the building of the phase index. Okay, and somewhere there will be models directory, just a minute, models, yeah, these are those embeddings which are built by those .py file. Okay, so fundamental documents, fundamental phase, fundamental meta, because this is required, understanding intent is required, because one user may type ROE, another user may type return on equity, and so on. So every user should get the correct answer, and I will show you now. Let us take various demo. Okay, so for example, this was ROE of Microsoft. Now let us find ROE of AAPL. Okay, so let me just change here instead of Microsoft, you can see that as soon as I removed the name of the company, here it is written that no symbol is detected in your query. But as soon as I write now another company, AAPL, it gives me the warning that I have the cached data at present on 13/9/2025. Click fetch existing button to use that. Remember, this data which is at present seen, that is actually Microsoft data. Now here I click fetch existing, and you can see now originally it was 0.322 and now it is 1.714. So this is the return on asset for the AAPL, okay, return on equity for the AAPL or Apple, and it is also of that data. Now for fundamental index, there is no point in fetching because it mostly will change only at the end of the December, 31st December 2025, while I am recording this in the last week of 2025, so that is why this will not change. But for technical indicators, I will show you that you can fetch the fresh data also. But first let us do others. So what is ROA of Microsoft? Return on assets, and you can see it is 0.147. What is profit margin of Tesla? So I am fetching existing and it shows that it is 0.0531, okay, or that is 5.31% at the end of 39/2025. Okay, fine. Then another question. Now I am not doing all these fundamental question. You may try, because as I said that all the list of question can be found from this link, but some slightly difficult fundamental question. Let us compare two different stocks. So compare ROE of Apple and Microsoft. Let us see our system gets that or not, because that is slightly difficult to query, and I am again using fetch existing only. So you can see that it has shown that first is ROE trailing 12 months. Apple has 1.714 and Microsoft has 0.322. So this is actually 171.4 if you write in percentage, well this is 32.2%. okay, so who is winning? Obviously Apple has big lead in return on equity here. So then in that case it shows that winner is Apple, and winner's value is this much, loser is Microsoft, loser's value is this much. Okay, so among these two, suppose you have limited amount of capital and you want to deploy that capital on one stock, then you would prefer to deploy money on Apple rather than Microsoft. Okay, then let us take one another slightly complex. Compare the profit margin of Meta and Google. Okay, so compare profit margin of Meta and Google. You can see that whether or not that inverted commas are kept, whether or not this last comma is kept, it does not make any difference, and it works. Meta at the top only 0.309, or that is 30.9%, that is the profit margin, and Google 32.2% or 0.322. So who is winning? Winner is Google, its value is 32.2%, and loser is Meta, and its value is 30.9%. okay, now the important thing is that let us do about technical. So other similar fundamental queries one can try. From this link you can download all these queries. Okay, now for technical, what is RSI of AAPL? RSI is a measure. Those who are familiar with stock market, they know that RSI is a measure which decides whether a particular stock is overbought or oversold. Okay, and if you write this way, then AAPL indicator which we want to fetch is RSI, and the value is 49.1687. okay, fine. Now here I can try fetching new value. Of course it will take 60 to 80 seconds, so I will pause my recording and I will start later on, maybe after it is completely fetched. Okay, so fetch new. After around 80 or 81 seconds, it paused, it fetched this value 49.1687, and it is the latest value on 26th of December. Today, as I am recording this, on 27th of December. So it is fetching the latest value, yesterday closed value. Okay, now one more thing is, let us check with old value. So, okay, so old value, now I think old value will not be displayed because it will already override, this new value will already override. That is the meaning of the database is continuously automatically upgraded. So now even the old value is same, but you can go back in the video and first when we fetch the existing value, you will see that it was different value than this. Okay, let us do that for one another, so that for example, what is RSI of NVIDIA? Okay, first let us fetch existing value. Remember this 58 point something. Okay, that is the, but that was no, this is also latest value only, because it is on 26th. I actually tried this demo before recording, that is the reason. So maybe I think this will fetch old value. What is RSI of IBN? IBN stands for ICICI Bank. Okay, yeah, that no, even that is there. So all the values have been automatically refreshed and already updated to latest value when I was testing this whole app before recording this video. Okay, but otherwise this will not be the latest value, but this will be the value on which the last data was there. And then when you now if I use this is 26 December, but if I use this app say in February 2026 and click this fetch new, then immediately these values will change and you will get the value of the previous day closer value of the RSI for ICICI Bank. Okay, so you can easily decide overbought and oversold, etc. Now say this, you can try what is 50-day moving average, SMA, simple moving average, okay, of APL. Existing is this, and again it is the latest value, but still I am trying to fetch new value. I will pause, unnecessary, no need of wasting time here. So it fetched the new value after a lot of time, and this window is written, that is, it is a 50-day moving average, simple moving average on the window of 50 days. Those who are knowing technical analysis, they know that technical analysts, they rely a lot on various moving averages. Now you can try these other cases, or you can even find some new symbols from this list link. You will find all the companies who are listed on US stock exchange, and you can try for any symbol. I have tried to check for almost more than 50-100 cases, and try to check if there are no edge cases left, and as far as I think this should work. Okay, now one more thing is, let us briefly check what is the what makes this project special. So here you can see that project objective is to design a production grade financial intelligence platform which delivers real time and deterministic analysis. Now this deterministic analysis word is important because, as I said, on one side we are using natural language processing because the user is typing his query in natural language. I also showed that there is that vector store, and in the models directory there is embeddings and phase embeddings, and all those things are stored, right? But these are probabilistic model, they are not non-deterministic things. And on the other hand, when we are taking financial decisions, at that time we cannot afford to take financial decision based on non-deterministic values. We want exact number based on which we are taking our financial decision. So this is having one kind of hybrid architecture in which numbers are fetched in deterministic manner, while user's intent, which metric he wants to fetch, that is understood in non-deterministic manner. Second thing is using a multi-agent architecture. Now you can see that also. If I show you here in this, then you can see that this SRC, and in which these are agents. So there are agents, each agent takes up particular small narrow task, and all the agents talk to each other. Agents in simple language is nothing but functions or scripts which are talking to each other and which are passing values to each other. So then AlphaVantage parser parses the user's query to AlphaVantage portal. Then derived metric builder. Derived metric are those metric which are not already there in our existing database. Then dynamic symbol ingestion, so that is also used when user types a metric which is not already in our database. For example, I will show you that one thing I did not show, and it is good thing that we are remembering that this quantity XOM for ExxonMobil, it's a big company, oil company in US, and you can see that it is not, its detail is not already stored. What is stored is only Google, HDFC Bank, ICICI, Infosys, Meta, Nvidia, Reddy, then Tesla and all this, but this XOM, this is not there. So the question is, what happens if I try XOM? So let me try what is the ROE or simple moving average of XOM. At that time, it will go and fetch the detail of that XOM from the AlphaVantage, and then it will update this database. So you can see at present there is no XOM, but the details for the XOM will be updated in the technical micro index. Okay, so if you see fetch existing, then I think it will okay, it is directly going to fetch new data. So it is a built-in mechanism that if there is no existing data, then directly go to the AlphaVantage and fetch new. Even if fetch new is not clicked explicitly, when fetch existing is clicked, but if existing data is not there, then this is automatically clicked. But even if I try it explicitly, that fetch new, suppose, okay, and for my case it is taking a lot of time to fetch from AlphaVantage. The reason is, of course, that I am using the free API, which allows me to make only 4 calls per minute. So I have to introduce import time library and time.slip 12, so that only 4 to 5 calls will be made between 4 to 5 calls will be made per minute. After every call, the app will go to sleep for 12 seconds, then it will make the next call. So otherwise AlphaVantage will throttle me. Throttle me means it will reject my further requests. Okay, now these are all various kinds of agents. Some agents are here also in the ingestion, not in ingestion, sorry, in the pre-processing. You can see there are certain which are just handling cleaning, certain which are handling chunking, and so on. In the storage also there is one which is creating the micro index. Micro index means the fundamental index, and similarly somewhere there will be one which is creating technical index also. Okay, so these are some agents. Some are here also apart from SRC. Okay, I have already shown all agents. So this is a multi-agent financial system. Okay, so whenever we hear this kind of words, agent and tools and skills, we often feel that these are some high-tech things and we have not learned them as a programmer. But actually they are in one way, okay, I would not say it is 100% correct, but it is in one way just old wine in new bottle. Okay, so terminologies keep on changing, but agents coordinate with each other very nicely, that we can see. And I am pausing this video because this will take a lot of time, because for XOM I don't have the data in my database, so it will fetch from AlphaVantage, and hopefully AlphaVantage does not throttle me. Okay, for ExxonMobil it could not fetch the data. Maybe there is some issue with it. So let us try another well-known company, slightly more well-known company, AMZN. Maybe then fetch new, and let me pause this. So yes, for Amazon, which was not present, we could fetch all the details of 50-day moving average. Okay, and now if I show you that technical.csv file, not this one but other CSV file, this, so you will see that data for Amazon would be added in it, so that data is automatically updated. And that means next time, I think I just need to refresh this, but next time I won't have to fetch for Amazon. What mistake we were doing here, you can see that 50-day ROE of Amazon, which is wrong, because if we see our list, E is for fundamental while 50-day was for technical, and that's why. But somehow still it fetched, which is a great thing, that because Amazon was a known symbol, that's why it could fetch its ROE. Okay, and of course it ultimately fetched fundamental only, and therefore it is slightly older data, 39 2025. The reason is, for last quarter, that is December, the quarter which ends on December 31st, it will report its return on equity in the January month. And as I said, I am recording this just before the Christmas of 2025, so that ROE of last quarter, that is not available, but previous quarter, that is September 2025, that is available. Okay, now so this is actually 50-day ROE was wrong, still it somehow managed to ignore that 50-day. Okay, then let us even try that which was ExxonMobil. What was the symbol for that? And if I fetch new, let me check, or perhaps it was already fetched. When I said that it failed, it was actually already correctly fetched. Micro index. Is XOM already added? Yes, XOM was already added, and that is why there was no need to fetch it. EMZN is also already added. Even though our query was ambiguous, as I said, we wrote 50-day ROE, still things were working. That's a great thing. Okay, because the more robust, you can see now XOM for ExxonMobil, it has worked. Okay, so that's great. Now let me at least show the path architecture. So this is a multi-agentic financial intelligence platform, and this is the high level flow. User enters the query, and if I show both the diagram as well as the Gradio app side by side, it would be better. Okay, yeah, like this. So user enters the query. Here user enters the query. There is a unified query handler in the Gradio app's code, which unified means it will handle both technical as well as fundamental query, and it will route. There is a route query agent. So that route query agent first checks if the symbol is unknown. Unknown means if the symbol is not present already in my existing cache or database. Then if yes, then it will go to fetch that new symbol. Okay, and if no, then that means the data is already there. Then it will check the domain specific evaluation, that whether it is a fundamental query or technical query, and based on that it will fetch the fundamental data or technical data. If it is a fundamental data, then it will use matrix micro index, this CSV file. And if it is technical data, then it will use technical micro index, that is this CSV file. Okay, and then it will display the output. Now this shows the path of fundamental query in detail. This is just a very quick kind of bird's eye view of the whole architecture, but this is the path followed by fundamental query, and similarly later on this is the path followed by technical query. I will just conclude with one thing, that what else can be added in this. So we can add still what are the plus points of this app, that also we have seen, that it is fetches the matrix in a deterministic manner. So that is one thing. And second thing is, we can since now matrix technical metrics are already there, we can add some time series based predictive analysis. Later on I also plan to develop few more agents inside the app, which will automatically do some trades on behalf of investor, maybe after every 10-20 minutes, or every 30 minutes, or every 1 hour, based on what investor chooses. That is day trader's preference. Okay, it will automatically execute the trade, and there I will have to put certain safeguards that execute trade not more than maybe certain amount, so that in case the trade goes wrong, then the loss is not more than that. Okay, so it will execute, say, kind of micro trades of at high frequency trading, and that are the latest rage in the financial world. Okay, then I can also find portfolio intelligence. Then I can also add some sentiment analysis. If I show you somewhere, I think I have kept one. Okay, there is no such folder, but here there was one folder for news. So that folder will store the news data, broker commentary and all that, that JP Morgan has downgraded this, or President Trump has imposed a new tariff on this and all that, and based on which it will do the sentiment analysis, what the market's sentiment is. Okay, and finally, if all the technical metrics are already present, then we can also include time series based prediction, and that is forecasting actually, and using that forecasting, we can provide the investor some annual target of the data of the stock. Okay, so this is still work in progress, and if anybody wants to collaborate, then please contact me, and most welcome. Thank you, and hopefully you liked it.